Well, hello everyone. I'm Miguel Domingo, a postdoctoral researcher here at UPB. I'm working on the advancements in the application of neural machine translation for the processing of historical documents. So since we have few time, I'm just going to motivate our work and talk about the main two areas, which is language modernization and spelling normalization. So historical documents are an important part of our cultural heritage. However, due to their linguistic characteristic, they are mostly limited to scholars. This is mainly because, for one, human language evolves with the passage of time, and also spelling conventions is a modern concept. So in the past, orthography changed depending on the author and the time period. And this happened to a point that is we see a database called LALME. They found 45 different forms for the pronoun it, 64 different forms from the pronoun she, and more than 500 for the preposition through, which, as you see, it creates a lot of diversity. So the first task we are working is language modernization, whose goal is to make historical documents more accessible to a general audience. And what we aim to do is to generate a newer version of the document, but written in the modern version of the language. So here we have an example of a poem from Shakespeare. So the goal would be to have the same text, but written in modern English in this case. As you see, the idea is just to have the same content in order to make it easy to comprehend by nowadays people. In this case, being poetry, was of course some changes. You lost the rhymes and some of the contents, but we are only focusing on understanding the document. So far, this research field has simplified the problem by assuming that we already have a transcript of the document, which most of them are manuscripts. However, this only happens for a small portion of all the documents. In fact, historical documents, historical manuscripts, are not accounted in number of documents, but they are typically measured in square kilometers of cells in which they are contained. So as you see, only a small portion of them are transcribed. There's a transcript. So right now, what we're doing is working with our colleagues from the handwritten text recognition field in order to not limit it from a transcript, but to do the modernization using directly the manuscript. And the second field is spelling normalization, which, as I introduced before, there's no conventions in the past. So what we want to achieve is to try an orthography consistency by adapting the document spellings to modern standards. So in this case, the idea is we have the same document, we want to produce the same text, but regulating the document to adapt the spelling. In this case, this is a fragment from El Quijote, and just to adapt, for example, caballero, which in the past was written with U, do it with B. This is important also for the natural language processing community, since if there's a lot of variability for written words, it makes it harder in order to search terms or things like that. So far, most of the approaches have following classical machine translation and character-based machine translation strategies, and we are currently deploying pre-trained large language models to spelling normalizations, and we are also exploring the uses of multilingual models to train single normalization systems instead of the classical approach of training a system for its dataset, its time period, etc. So that's it. Thank you for your attention.